Game of Thrones, Episode 5, The Bells.
Cinco. Episode
Man. I really don't know what to say about this episode that hasn't already been said. But I will say that this motherfucker called a lot of shit, okay? I'm just saying, okay? So I want to start off. Whoa, Benjamin, as always. By the way, sorry, I'm so lost for words at what we've seen that I completely forgot to introduce myself. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is John Aaron of House Aaron, and this is the Real in Motion podcast where we talk about all, anything that we're interested in, news,
Yes.
TV shows, film. It doesn't matter, but. For the past 5 weeks, we've been discussing Game of Thrones because it's been
Heavily.
Yeah, because we are such massive fans of this entire series.
Yes.
And franchise.
Don't let this conversation today make you think that I'm not a fan, because I just like John, I'm a huge fan.
We're gonna prove that. Actions speak louder than words, friendo.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I think. Go on, brother.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say. So I know we usually talk about news throughout the week, but there's just literally been so little news as far as films are concerned that put that to the side, push that over. We're gonna talk Game of Thrones, and I'm wearing a specific shirt that I can't wait for everybody to actually physically see on YouTube, because technically this shirt that I'm wearing, it is a representation of how I am and what I feel. Okay, so I will say this. Who is with me? My co-host, my confidant, to my left. Yeah, right? No, he's to my right. Sorry. Yeah, he's to my right. What? It doesn't matter. Anyways, Mr. Benjamin Everts. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready for you. Now, you know what? I think there's some misunderstanding, and but we're gonna clear it up, because.
Well, give me your first give me your raw thought, not raw, but give me your thoughts, your overall of the entire episode.
I loved it. I loved the whole episode. That's why I was gonna recommend you. You always drive the show whenever we do Game of Thrones. So I was gonna recommend. Let's go through all the things that we loved, because I love the entire show. But there's one thing about the show that is the only thing that we have a little bit of contention with, and I think you're gonna understand where I'm coming from, and I think we're gonna come to an agreement. We're gonna agree to disagree, but it's not. I don't. It's not, because I was emotionally. How do you say that? Emotionally
distraught.
I don't know, but I was a mess, because
I bet you were, man.
Because the show, after every show, I get a migraine, or I get a headache. When they killed Drogo, and
Rhaegal,
and so every episode has been emotionally charged for me,
right.
and last episode was no different. But I just have a bone to pick with one specific area of the show, and that's what we're going to discuss. And so probably, like, if we go through the entire show and discuss all the things that we loved from beginning to end, and then we go nuclear, like Daenerys Targaryen did on Westeros, then we could do that. But it's up to you.
Man, I like going through the film, or going through the show, like kind of in a way, because it allows us to break the show down into parts, and we can get to talk about it. So it starts with Varys writing his scrolls, and again, another parallel to season 1. You remember when Ned Stark was writing out his a true heir versus Joffrey Baratheon.
Right.
So that's what this scene reminded me of, and he had several written out, and I was actually stunned. Kind of right afterwards, I went on Reddit, like I always do.
Well, he wrote several. So
he was riding him. I mean, and that was in the morning because his little bird Martha.
He was sending
Why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name, dude? I asked Varys, why did he say that fucking name? But he didn't answer. But Martha, the little bird, comes in and says, "Hey, she's not eating." And I think the guards are watching me, and all of a sudden it clicked in my head. I went, "Dude, he's literally trying to poison her as we speak."
Yes, I was like, he's trying to poison her, and I'm like,
"Fuck yeah, he is."
He was trying to poison her. I was like, "Oh my god, this dude is gonna." I mean, I knew the minute that he was already talking about it that she's not the real heir, and
the moment he was talking with Tyrion about it, the
minute he was talking to Tyrion, and I remember when she told you mentioned it on the last episode when she said, "If you betray me, you're gonna die by dragon fire," and sure enough.
I know, but the whole reason why this even occurred is because Tyrion's watching Varys greet Jon Snow, and what did I tell you? Remember, I was like, dude, I bet Varys is gonna try to, and I'm pretty sure I said this. If I didn't say this on
he didn't even let him
say this on the episode, I know that I spoke with Avery about it. But the moment I saw the picture of Varys and Jon on the beach, I was like, dude, he's gonna try to. He doesn't know Jon Snow. He's going to sit there and try to find a way to, not expose, but let him know that he should be the real ruler. And Jon, just like his father, that's not what he cared. Like he only cares about the rightful queen. And so the moment he started telling Jon Snow about that, and Tyrion's watching him, Tyrion's like, "Fuck, you just made my decision for me, dude."
Yeah, exactly. Because he made a mistake on telling him.
He did.
Because that's his job. He's the master of whispers. So he knew what he was gonna do. But I guess he just needed confirmation that.
I think this was his last attempt. This was because he was already sending the scrolls out. There's no, you know what I mean? Like he didn't have to talk with Jon. He knew that he was sending scrolls out. He knew that he had already talked to Tyrion about it. He knew that somehow or another something was going to get brought up and he was going to get found out.
Right.
So this was his like last ditch effort. He was like, "Dude, fuck it. I'm going to go all out. I'm going to go big or go home."
Right.
So when he made that play, Tyrion's basically like, "Fuck. Now I have to go tell Dany." And I remember watching him walk up to her and. You're watching it, and I go, how is he going to broach this subject? And so when he talks about, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something," and she's like, "Oh, yeah, somebody betrayed me." Like, she already knew. And I was thinking the whole time, I was like, damn, dude, she already knows about Varys. Yeah, and when she mentioned Jon Snow, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know that situation in a real relationship, right? When somebody has broken faith in a relationship, whether it's between whoever, it doesn't matter. That person, you find out that found out a secret that you weren't, that you shouldn't have said. It fucking tears you up, dude. You're like, are you fucking kidding? Like it's almost like, dude, I fucking told you this shit was gonna happen. I told you to keep it a secret, and I told you that, hey, this is a way to make sure everything stays good. Don't fucking betray me. And what happens?
Yo, he didn't even take three steps on that beach, bro.
I know. And
not even 3 steps, and he's already on his ear. It's like, what the fuck is you doing, man? You're gonna die. But
and I can understand Tyrion, his explanation of, well, this is why I talked to Varys. And in truth, remember, I told you, I was like, man, I think he's gonna betray her, but at the end of the day, it looks like he did not betray her. It was made to look like he was gonna betray her. But it was like he either was going to betray her or he wasn't, and he stayed loyal.
Well, yeah, that's one thing that we discussed about in the earlier episodes, that you felt that Tyrion was going to betray her.
Yeah. Now, I think the reason why he decided to stay with her versus going with Varys is because at the end of the day, yeah, he is committed to her, but he also, Tyrion's whole character, his entire arc has always been about, making sure that nobody blows up King's Landing.
Right.
So he could calculate that, hey, look, if I fucking left and went with Varys, guess what? She's going to go fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather go with her, try to calm her down and listen, make sure she has her advisor's trust so that she doesn't do that. I'd rather do that than go with Varys. So I'm going to say something, and hopefully it prevents mass chaos.
Right.
And so I think,
So
for
do you
what
think,
this go on.
So do you think that when he told Varys, it's because he knew he was going to tell Jon, and he was just waiting to see Jon's reaction to see if Jon was receptive to the whatever he was telling him? So maybe that way he could say, okay, you know what, he wants to take the throne, the throne. He's down to move why am I drawing a blank right now? The Mother of Dragons spotted because
so this is what he was doing.
I
He was
think
basically
just
viewing
waiting
it
for confirmation to make sure that he's not on board with that. He's not on board.
That's what I'm saying.
Taking the throne.
That was the entire reason why he was watching that. He wanted to see what happened, and he had two options. And that's why I'm saying he didn't tell her yet until that situation. So, okay, fine. We find out that Varys not only is actively trying to poison her, but he's also already sending his scrolls out. So then we see him again at night. So this is the reason why it's so different because, we don't know what he was writing at this point. We can only assume. But the fact that the Unsullied show up, I was like, dude, he's fucking dying, man.
That's it. He heard the steps.
He heard the steps, and it was funny because as I was watching it, I was like, that one shot of Drogon at the night, this is going to be the moment because he's burning somebody. And I thought it was interesting that they brought him out. He tells Tyrion, "I hope I'm wrong," and I in that moment I truly believed him. I truly believed he went, I really hope that I'm wrong and Daenerys is not going to do what I think she's going to do.
Well, I believed him from the minute that he said that he doesn't care who's that he's there for the people, that whatever he does is for the betterment of the people, that he wants the rightful heir or the right person, or the best person for the job, for the lack of a better word. So I think he was true to that word. The way he went about it, it was just the wrong way about it. That's it.
Just come on, man. Like, dude, they could have just fucking married. Who cares? But
exactly.
After that, we move on to the collar of Missandei and Grey Worm. You could tell Grey Worm's holding a grudge. Like, there's no, like, both these characters are in a different state of mind right now. And if it wasn't evident enough, then nobody should. I mean, I don't understand why people were bitching about this, but. The one thing I thought was interesting is once Jon enters the room and he talks to Dany, Dany basically is like, I fucking told you what was going to happen, remember? Remember when we had that conversation back home? All right, well, Sansa knew that Tyrion would betray her trust.
Of course.
That was the whole reason why Sansa told Tyrion. Dany's smart enough to understand this. She put all that shit together. She went, I'm smart enough to know that Sansa did this for a fucking reason.
That's one of the little things that I have a kind of an issue with, because he's smart enough to pick up on these things when somebody tried to use him.
He was smart. Yeah, he was smart enough. He should have been smart enough to realize Sansa was doing that for a fucking reason.
Yeah, exactly. And he just took the bait.
He not only did he fucking took the honeypot, ate it all up. Okay.
Right.
And. It was odd for me, and again, this is my feeling, right? I'm looking at everything that's happened in this show, and I've watched it since the beginning, and I can read into certain things. This show is a very realistic show, so these human emotions that are going on right now, this is stuff that I've not necessarily in this kind of way, but I've experienced with a significant other. When Dany says, now Sansa knows what happens when people find out your secret. And me, that was like, holy shit, she's basically, it almost sounded like she was threatening Jon, but not Jon. She was threatening Sansa. She was like, that's the reason why, whatever I'm going to do, Sansa did it. Okay?
and that's why, because that was after they killed him, and she said, Sansa is much as fault as I am. I'm paraphrasing, because she was the one who initiated this whole thing about spreading the word about his lineage.
Yep.
And so she wasn't wrong about that.
Oh, I know she wasn't. But then what does she say? She tries to tell him, "Hey, look, I haven't been loved here. Nobody here loves me like they love you. Okay, that's all I want right now. That's all I need.
But I don't understand why Daenerys Targaryen. Why can't she use? What she never came to told him, listen, we could get married and roll together if you want to do that.
Because she's not thinking about that right now. She's thinking about how fucking hurt she is because he betrayed her.
Yeah, I guess so.
She's not thinking like, listen, you don't want to marry. You don't want to. You're not going to sit there. But listen, you're not going to propose to somebody when you're angry.
That's true.
You're not going to do that. And obviously, John's not sitting there going, "Hey, we should get married."
She's calculating. She
is calculating, but you're telling me that
think about that too.
You're telling me in Westeros that the females that are anywhere in Westeros, they propose to men?
No,
is that what you're saying?
It's all arranged, isn't it?
It's exactly. It's all arranged. So why would she sit there and go, "Hey, we should get married"?
No, but it will be an arrangement. It will be like, listen, you're the true heir. I have the army. I have the people. I have everything.
I understand where you're coming from. Believe me, but you have to look at it in universe. That conversation has never happened between them two. The only conversation about them getting married has happened with Varys and Davos and all that.
Well, what I'm saying is, if they have that conversation, it means that it definitely crossed her mind.
I mean, it could, but guess what? She said, "Hey, I want love," and when he didn't kiss her back, she said, "Fine, let it be fear." Fuck it then. Like if you would have just waited, guess what? This shit would be in a completely different situation. Okay. And at the end of the day, dude, she's fucking pissed off, man. She just lost her best friend. She just lost her best friend who got decapitated. She lost her fucking dragon, dude.
She lost Jarrell. She lost a dragon.
Yeah,
she lost
dude. Are you kidding me? Like she's not sitting there going, "Oh yeah, sorry, whatever. Hey, I understand, John. Things happen." No, dude, she's fucking pissed off now.
No, she's
because
pissed
all
off.
these people betrayed her, and fucking Sansa did exactly what she wanted her to do. So all right, dude. You know what? That right there should have told a lot of people. She's fucking upset. Remember what I told her. Remember what I said last episode. I fully support Dany no matter what. After the last episode, I said, whatever the fuck she does, I can understand it right now. Because I can look at it and go, yeah, I know, exactly. Because I'm looking at it going, dude, she's never been a fucking, she's never been a Jon Snow. Like, Jon Snow is an honorable, he does what's right. He never wants power. He doesn't want none of that shit. She's never been that. So that for, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty obvious. And then the next scene when she's talking to Tyrion, she's like, "Hey, we're gonna take him out." And she tells the Unsullied, "Y'all, go over there, march up." And then she mentions his brother, which, okay, they capture his brother, and I'm thinking, dude, what the fuck's gonna happen with that? And it was kind of weird because when Tyrion said, "Well, if they ring the bells, that's how you know they surrender." And when I was looking at Dany and looking at Grey Worm, I mean, the look they share is like,
like I wouldn't care about this fucking bell.
No, we asked them to surrender peacefully fucking 2 weeks ago. The people in King's Landing knew that I was fucking at Dragonstone, knew that I was bringing my fucking dragons, and knew that I was about to bring fucking havoc on them. For 2 weeks, they knew. I asked them to surrender nicely. They did not fucking make that decision up. Their queen did.
Right.
Okay. All right, cool. So she looks at Grey Worm.
I know you're laying the foundation to.
I know I am.
Give her a reason or an excuse for doing what she did.
I'm just stating what has happened. That's all.
No, okay, all right.
I'm looking at it from right. I mean, I'm not.
No, it's true. It's true because she did offer peace before she waged war.
Exactly, so. And again, I'm not saying that she that it was right. I'm just saying that I'm well, maybe I am saying it's right, but we'll get to that. Anyways.
Okay.
But then we get to the next day. Okay, great. It's morning, and we see Tyrion go and rescue what's it called? Jaime. And I don't know about you. I basically bawled my eyes out in that conversation.
Oh man.
I mean, big.
Yeah, because that was listen, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, Tyrion.
Dude, he's such an amazing actor, bro.
Yeah,
Dude, I got emotional with those two there because when he said that the only reason, the
only reason why he's alive is because of him. I was like, fuck, dude. Like,
man, that was like
it reminded me of.
And he waits so much because two things was gonna happen. He knew he was gonna die after tomorrow, and Tyrion knows that the minute that he let him go, his life is already over too. So it was like saying goodbye to each other, because they knew they were gonna.
And what did Tyrion say to Jaime? He was like, look, none of those things are gonna work. Like, she is gonna come down. She's gonna fucking mass murder the city. Like, none of that shit's gonna work. Please, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And he told her, listen, I won the war. I know the ins and outs. I already gave her all the tools that she needs.
I know he's telling his brother, look, dude, I've given her the full battle plan. Trust me, she's going to win this. There's no whatever. And I just want you to know that, you did all that. It reminded me of when Tyrion was talking to Oberyn in season 4, and Oberyn's telling him the story, and he's like, he's just a baby, That's just a baby, That's not a monster. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like, that scene really fucked me up too. But seeing these two, knowing, for me, I knew that something was going to happen, because you just don't. If he's already about to go back to Cersei, which I said she was going to die.
And the thing I was like, he probably knew. Cersei knew that whose the hand is, and he was gonna. She knew that he was gonna give her all the details about Westeros and the Red Keep and how to destroy them. And so she knew they didn't have a chance. But either hubris or
I think we'll get to that a little bit. I think I have an idea at least. But
okay,
I thought it was interesting that Tyrion got to repay the visit, or not the visit, but repay his debt, right? Like a Lannister always does, by freeing his brother. Like he freed his brother. You know what I mean?
Those Lannisters.
Yeah, always paying fucking debts, man.
Yeah, always paying the debt.
But it was emotional.
It was.
This episode, and that's 30 minutes in. Okay, this episode is unfucking real, because now we get to the fucking battle, and I had some ideas of what was going to happen with the Iron Fleet in Blackwater Bay.
Right.
But I wasn't trying to plant any kind of crazy fucking theories in my head, like fucking all these baby dragons and all these fucking everything was gonna happen and Drogon's gonna have armor. I didn't think any of that shit. I was like, I just think we've never seen the dragons. We've never seen them, any of them, at their full fucking power.
No.
Okay?
Well,
we've never ever seen it. Like, sure, with Spoils of War last year, that was
when they went ape shit on Marine, they kind of display their full power.
I mean, on one ship, yes.
But I think I don't know, maybe because when you have 3 dragons, it doesn't look. I don't know, but having just one dragon just run amok the way that it did, I think it makes it more impactful.
It did, and it showed how she had learned this time. Okay, she was diving down, which I had said she probably would. She was diving down, making sure that they weren't able to turn around fast enough, because those ballistas, they're really heavy. I mean, it's not like they're fucking easy to control.
You can't just turn the stingers right away. Scorpions.
Yeah. And so she made a very strategic way to get rid of the Iron Fleet first, and then she made her way to King's Landing. And then we see, after that, we see, what's it called? Arya and the Hound walking in.
Yeah.
And then the Gold Company. And I'm going, dude, this we're about to see a fucking battle. And with the Golden Company, I loved the fact that Miguel Sapochnik kind of did a parallel of the Battle of the Bastards. Because now the invading army was what we perceived as the good guys.
I don't think this was much of a battle.
No. I know it wasn't. I'm saying he did a couple parallels with Battle of the Bastards, like the way things were shot, the way things were framed.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that explosion when the dragon came behind the Golden Company, I was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get there. Because right before that, we start seeing the crowd. We see Cersei, we see her with her smug looking fucking face, right? And then we start really seeing Drogon lay the fucking just lay waste to these Iron Fleet, okay? She is fucking just going out, and I loved it, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's my girl. I was excited. I will say this, I was kind of, and I'm saying kind of, like there was like 5% of me scared that Drogon was going to get hit.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
And this is when my headache started, but I'll tell you more about it later.
Okay.
But
so then we get, Jon Snow. All of a sudden, they start hearing some of the explosions far back, and I'm like, for whatever, because here's the thing: every single time that we've ever seen a battle, something like this, the opposing forces have hated each other, or they've had some reason to fight, or they, death, Night King and all that stuff. Right. We've never seen technically a battle like this where there's paid people. So they don't have any animosity towards each other. They're just like, I'm here to fulfill a contract. Like, who cares? Yeah. And so to fucking see that back door just get blasted by Drogon, I went, what the fuck, dude?
Where is this coming from? Because at that point, I'm still thinking the Drogo's back there destroying the entire fleet.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see the whole wall coming down. And that's when I thought... Because I think, I text you like, oh, there's another dragon hidden somewhere. So I was like, I told you so. There was another dragon. No, but it was just Drogo coming through as on the last minute. Not on the last minute, but at the beginning of the fight. And I
know. And I loved it. I loved her seeing. I loved seeing taking the Golden Company out like they were nothing, which is essentially what they were. Nothing. Because we never saw them. We didn't know how they fought. We didn't know.
I thought they were going to put up like a big fight. Like, the Golden Company. Oh, God. I got the Golden Company with me. I was like, get out of here. They didn't bring elephants.
No, they didn't. And that's the whole fucking reason why they didn't, because they just got blasted anyways. And I loved, like I mentioned, the parallels, right? So when we see Strickland on the ground and it pans, the camera pans around him to see the back, and you see all the Dothraki and Unsullied charging. Yeah. It was exactly like how Jon Snow looked, but the difference is that fucking Strickland runs, and he was like fucking booking it, dude. He's like, I don't want none of this shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, he didn't stand in front of them. He just turned around
and started running, and boom, gets shot by fucking Grey Worm, man.
No honor.
Well, I know, and this is the point. So when we see the Unsullied, or not the Unsullied, the Golden Company get shot down like they did, that was the point that should have let us, the audience, know there's no fucking way that Cersei's gonna win.
No. And at that point, when they're rushing into the city, and I'm like, this is too easy. I thought that it was gonna be a situation like the Holy Scepter situation.
Right.
Like, is she gonna burn them inside?
It's just something, yeah.
I was like, no, this is too fucking easy. But no, it was just.
But here's what happens. Power. We're watching this. This is what a dragon would look like in a full-on battle. Okay, yep. This is a dragon unleashed, unhinged, with somebody controlling it that is fucking pissed off. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when Cersei gets basically approached by Qyburn saying, "Hey, we might want to kind of step back a little bit," she's like, "Oh, all it takes is one good shot," and that was Cersei right there. She was so fucking confident that they took out a dragon. That was all they needed. That was her downfall, because she was going, Daenerys, she's had mercy. That's her weakness. She could have killed me when she came down here in season 7. She didn't. Mm-hmm. She could have easily come down here for the last however long she's been in Dragonstone. She could have killed me. She hasn't. Now I have humans.
So you think she was playing on her good nature?
Absolutely, she was. I think back to this. This is what I really wanted to say. Think back to when Batman in 2008 in The Dark Knight, he gets the Joker. He's done, right? He's got him. And he's like, "Oh, you didn't think I'd risk losing Gotham in a fist fight with you?" Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. What I did was I took Gotham's White Knight and I brought him down to our level, because madness, as you know it, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push. Okay, that is all it takes.
Fucking John, man, you did your fucking homework.
I know. I'm telling you, man. That is all it took.
You can prepare.
I know. That is all it takes for everything to happen the way it's starting to happen here, right? Because
all
of a sudden you realize Joker's doesn't care about Batman. He was the entire time going after
He
Harvey
was after
Two-Face Dent.
Harvey Dent all the time. So you're
All of a
saying
sudden,
that
Batman
Cersei's...
realizing he's like, holy shit, dude!
Bro, you just gave me goosebumps.
Right? I'm telling you, man. It's the way I saw this entire fucking show, or not show, but this entire episode, it played out like the Dark Knight. We're thinking that Cersei is a fucking an evil person, and she is. Don't get me wrong, but she was dependent on Dany being the nice, good, wholehearted, her, she's a gentle heart.
So she knew she was gonna lose that fight, but she wanted to make sure that her image is destroyed forever, even after she takes the throne.
Because at the end of the day, Cersei is really overconfident that her dragon's gonna get shut down. And what happens whenever Qyburn's like, no, we don't have any more scorpions. We don't have the Iron Fleet. We don't have any of that. She's like, kind of like almost shocked, but she's kind of like, oh, well, maybe, we'll figure something out. You know what I mean?
Right.
She couldn't give that in. She couldn't let that go. And that's whenever the Jon and Grey Worm are marching in.
So that's why she stood there watching Daenerys just setting the whole place on fire.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. But she wasn't setting the whole place on fire. She was waiting.
So why show fear at the end? Because if we're gonna go with that argument that she was pushing her to the brink of madness, and she knew that she was gonna lose the fight, and she said it before in the Game of Thrones: either you win or you die. So correct. If she was really about it, and she knew she was gonna die, then why she ran and not take it like a champ?
Because that's not Cersei. She's at the end of the day, she's a fucking scared girl. Remember when in season 2 when she thought she was gonna get taken out because of Stannis?
She was about to poison her child, and then
exactly, and she was gonna take the poison.
I remember that.
Exactly. She didn't want to. The last thing she wants to do is get fucking torched or any of that shit. So she's like, nah, I'll do it myself. But she didn't want to. Now she's got all this power, right? All of a sudden, Jon Snow walks in, Grey Worm walks in, the Lannister army, she's thinking, isn't going to give up. She's thinking, the Lannister army, they serve me. I'm a Lannister. They're going to fight for me.
We're getting a little bit too ahead of ourselves.
I'm following everything.
Let's go back to the ground when they were fighting on the ground.
Who?
And Jon Snow and Grey Worm is facing
we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet. I'm going there right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is they get there, they see the Lannister men, and they're kind of just waiting, right? And all of a sudden you see the Lannister forces drop their swords. You start seeing, everybody kind of, surrender, or not surrender, but they kind of ring the bell. They want to ring the bell, and I remember watching it going. It got tense for me because I was like, are they gonna fucking ring the bell? Yeah, like what are they gonna do? Like this is it kind of reminded me of Gangs in New York. You know what I mean?
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, what the fuck is about to happen, dude? Because at the end of the day, sure, they want to fight, but I mean right now they're basically it's 300.
It's not over until the bell is rung.
Well, right, but even then, it still doesn't mean it's technically over, okay? Because this is the Lannister army. This is the Lannister army that has been at war with the Starks and the Northmen for fucking how long? 10 years, right? Yep. And I loved seeing Daenerys land. She lands, Drogon lands. I was thinking, dude, I was thinking like, dude, is something gonna happen with Drogon before the bells get rung?
That was boss.
That's what I'm saying. So we see this entire 360 around her, which unfucking believable, right? I mean, I loved it. And we're kind of just waiting. We're kind of just like, okay, like what is about to happen? We don't know if they're going to ring the bell. Cersei doesn't know if they're going to ring the bell. And all of a sudden, we just see them start ringing the bell. And I remember I'm going, huh? All right. Well, they rang the bell, but the moment they panned up to Dany, I went, she's not going to accept that. Like that's not. You have to think of it and put yourself into her shoes.
I'll tell you what I thought. Before we get into that, because before she took off, she took off first and then they
well, no, not yet. She didn't take off yet. but we haven't seen anything yet until we see her face.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's about to happen. You know what I mean? We're just kind of we're kind of waiting, just like she is, and she hears those bells, and I think at that moment, okay, she realizes that they're surrendering, they're giving up, they don't give a fuck anymore, right? And that doesn't fill you with anything, right? You haven't really done anything except, you know, you've blown up a couple of things, but you haven't none of those people that you were fighting, except for the Iron Bank or Iron Fleet, you know, really created and caused the kind of hatred that you have right now. And so when she hears those bells, I think a lot of things are going in her head. She's going, this was built by my ancestors 300 years ago. The Red Keep's right there. You know, Cersei, I told them to give up 2 weeks ago, and they didn't fucking do it. And now they made me do this right now. And they're still giving up. And I'm not, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want that, because at the end of the day, I'm still fucking pissed off. I'm still upset. This isn't what I came here to do. I came for a fucking fight. And I'm not going to accept that. And you could see it in her face. I mean, you see it in her eyes. I mean, it brought me back to BVS when Alfred's talking to him, and he's like, you know, when he's like, you know, 20 years in Gotham, Alfred, how many good guys are left? How many stay that way, dude? She has been through so much through the last 10 years that has brought her to this fucking point. Everybody's character, their true self, happened when these bells started ringing. Like, literally, it was character to return to their form and what they were really like when these bells hit, because fear is a motivator. Fear was that driving factor for every single one. Tyrion was afraid that this is what's going to happen. Jon was afraid that this shit was going to happen. Dany was afraid that that's not what you guys are willing to do. You didn't want to give up, because if you would have given up, I wouldn't be here. I would have already taken this 2 weeks ago. Cersei's going, fuck. I can't. I'm fearful now, because now I know my soldiers are not going to be willing to fight right now. That means it's over for me. Mm-hmm. So when it was literally seeing her blink, and her eye twitched when she blinked. I went, no, dude, she's about to fucking go off. Now, my first thought was she's flying to the Red Keep to burn it down. Which, technically she did, but...
My thought there, when she was going, I was like, don't do it, because my thought was, now that she was gonna burn it, my thought was like, it's a setup. That's what I thought. It was like, this is too easy of a win, and nothing is ever too easy. Either it's tragic or shocking. And
here's the thing. Nothing's ever too easy in fantasy stories, right? But this is a very realistic approach to a lot of the things, right? And so we've never seen a dragon fully.
True, but the thing is that she was very prepared for the dragon before she killed the other dragon, not Viserion.
Rhaegal?
Rhaegal. I can remember Rhaegal.
But you remember when Viserion got shot down, what did she tell Jon Snow? She said,
she mounted scorpions all around the keep, all around the city, on the ships. So I'm thinking, she is going to have one up her sleeve. And she's going to taunt her to the point where she's going to come to me, and that's what I'm going to take her down. So at that point, I was like, please don't let her bite you. Don't bite it. She's too cold.
Here's the reason why. The way Lena Headey acted, she did not have a backup plan. The moment she heard those bells, there was nothing in her character or her acting that made me go, oh, she has something else planned. I went, no, dude, Dany is about to fucking wreck shop. There was no doubt in my mind. That could be a misdirection too. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to have to resort to my last option. You may have to, I would say, rewatch it, because when you see Lenny, like when you see her
I did. I rewatched it, and when I watched it the second time, I understood a couple of things that didn't make me come around to how I felt originally about Dany, but I understood even better, if that makes any sense.
I mean, kind of, but I'll say this, dude. Like, when I saw her get up and go off, I went, This is a no holds bar. This is I'm seeking my vengeance on you. And
Right.
she said it in season 2, right? She said, when my dragons are grown, I'll lay waste to armies and burn cities to the ground. That right there, that's not somebody that's extremely on a good side would say. She wouldn't threaten somebody that's literally not allowing them to get into her gates or to their gates. You know what I mean?
True, but
and that was before they were before she even taught him how to breathe fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was her mentality is, hey, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to fucking burn you down. Okay?
Well, that's what she's done. She's done that with everybody that she even came across that didn't bend to her will.
Now,
that is something that I wholeheartedly understand. Of her burning all her enemies. I get that. Like that, you have that is my resolve to get what I need to get. And before we go into that, because I remember when Jon Snow, Grey Worm, they were facing the Lannisters' army, and she used and Dany used to cough. And,
because the moment that happened, Grey Worm was like, "That's my cue. I'm gonna keep. No, I'm not fucking surrendering."
Did you notice the tension between Grey Worm and Jon Snow? Not only there, but
throughout the entire episode, yeah, absolutely.
When he went to talk to Dany before that, when they were talking in her room, so that motherfucker's already giving him the cockeye. So I wouldn't put it past them that they're gonna have a fight in the next episode.
But again, I'm looking at this as again, I've called a lot of things that have happened this season because I'm looking at it from a realistic standpoint.
Right.
The moment that, Grey Worm gave him the look like, this isn't going to fucking stop, dude. We're going all out, and this is what we're doing. The moment Jon saw his Northmen fucking continuing to do that, rape and pillage.
But not only that, he's drawing the line because remember when they were in the war room and Jon grabbed one of the dragon to be by his side. Grey Worm came and grabbed it like, no, it's going over here. You don't make this.
No, he was removing the Unsullied. He wasn't talking about any dragons.
Okay.
But my point is that what did the Northern allies do? They fucking went out there and did exactly what they were doing. Like they were raping and pillaging and fucking killing innocents. Okay. It wasn't like it was just Dany. The Northmen, the people that Jon leads, were doing that. And the difference is that Jon has dealt with dead men. That's all he's dealt with. He hasn't dealt with conquering a city. He hasn't dealt with going to war with actually living people, except for Winterfell. And guess what? The Winterfell, that was basically all the soldiers were there. There was nobody that was living there that was like, Winterfell.
Right.
So he's never had to deal with this kind of shit. He's never dealt with soldiers like this. And at the end of the day, his honor, everything about him and how he is as a person, he can't make that and force it upon all of his soldiers because guess what? They're in the heat of the battle. They fucking hate the Lannisters. They've always hated the Lannisters since they got into war and since they killed Ned Stark. I mean, think of these Northmen as fuck the Lannisters. Like right now, I don't give a fuck anymore. This city is ours and we're going to take it out. And that's how war is. War is a glory.
No, I know war is violent, but it's chaos. It's chaos.
But that's the thing, though, is that the people that Jon commanded were doing exactly what Dany did. They just did not have a dragon. That's the difference. Because now granted, Jon stopped somebody that was about to rape a female, which is cool. He understood that, but he saw that and went, like, if I'm going to physically see it, then I have to go save it. I'm going to have to do something about it. But he doesn't know what everybody else was doing after that. Like, he wasn't, it's not like he was killing every single one of his own men.
Right.
So, when I saw all that shit happen, I went, dude, this is a fucking free-for-all. There's not going to be any kind of reprimands, okay? Jon's not going to hold his army accountable for everything that he just saw. He's going, I've never experienced this type of war. I've never been in this situation, and I don't know how to act. I don't know how to feel. And at the same time, he doesn't know how to feel because he doesn't know what it's like to lose like this, as far as like Grey Worm and Dany and what they've been through. Everything that he's done has always made him true to his honor, even when he lost Ned. Okay, he wanted to leave, but he's stuck with Jeor Mormont.
Right.
He was behind him 100%. When he found out that that Gior even knew about Craster and the Nightwalkers and all that, he was loyal to the Night's Watch, and he's been loyal to Dany. So I know people are thinking that he's gonna probably turn on her, and I'm like, dude, he may not agree with it, but I don't think he's gonna really turn that much because he is such a loyal fucking person.
Yeah, he is loyal to the end. I don't think he's gonna agree with what she's done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's gonna agree, but I don't think he's gonna kill her.
I think his loyalty is gonna be to his detriment. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how that's gonna play out for him, and if I think what I think is not gonna serve him well on the next episode. But
yeah, probably not. Now, but after that, go on.
Going back to the whole Dany situation, because I get that. I listen. I understand every single point that probably you're gonna make or that I already heard.
Here's what I would say. How about we just continue it and then we're gonna talk about it.
Sure.
Because right after that, a couple of things I liked. We see we see Jaime and Euron fight. Magically, they somehow found each other.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Come on,
that was fucking
bullshit.
That was complete bullshit.
That was so fucking.
That was not even fan service. That was not. That was like fluff. I'm like, what the hell did this come from?
I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Of all the places that Euron's gonna land, he's gonna land right where Jaime's at. Bullshit, dude.
Yeah, get out.
I saw that and I went, okay, whatever, dude. Get off my fucking screen, dude. And so right after that, though, we see Qyburn come in and go, look, dude. That we have to leave because Dany is blowing the fucking place up, okay? Mm-hmm. She's nuking everything. I thought it was poetic that the moment she leaves, we see it pans to the window that she's always been looking out, and we start seeing the wildfires start exploding. Yep. And you realize how fucking minuscule that fucking fire is compared to her dragon fire that she's been setting up. Yep. And I'm like, that was a visual representation of what just happened. Because we all thought wildfire was going. So yeah, we thought wildfire. Because I remember
they talked about the wildfire. They were asking if there was any wildfire left.
Correct. Now, and I knew that there was.
But what was the purpose? What was the purpose of the wildfire? Because I saw it going on.
Well,
like,
they were stashed there. You know, that was just that was left over from the Mad King.
Okay.
So it the visual that I got was that's how literally ineffective Cersei was in this entire fucking battle, and it was almost like a callback, like Dany and her father kind of going, "Fuck it, I'm burn them all." Like, I set this up for a reason, and so to see her that vulnerable, right? I mean, like I mentioned, dude, it was for a reason. Like that's exactly how it would have turned out, and that's exactly what would have happened. She is not this, she's not like an evil queen that has no emotions. Like, dude, Cersei is a full-on three-dimensional character. Like when she was killing everybody in the Sept, when she was doing her walk, I felt bad for her. When she killed everybody in the Sept, I was happy for her. But that didn't mean I loved her or I liked her as a character. She was a fucking evil person, and at the end of the day, I know people want to sit there, and we'll talk about this later, but people want to sit there and bitch about what Dany has done. If Cersei had never killed King Robert, hundreds of thousands of soldiers would not have been lost their life, because the War of the Five Kings is what spurred all of this shit happen. So if Cersei wouldn't have just fucking killed her own king, trust me, there would have been a lot more people that were alive in Westeros than what Dany took out. But I did think it was kind of, it was interesting to see, what was happening. Like Cersei, she wants to leave, she leaves, and then we see Arya and the Hound kind of arrive, and to see that kind of play out, I was like, damn, dude, like, the Hound has a point. Like he understands what Arya and where she's coming from, but he's telling her, look, dude, if you want to die,
you're gonna die here.
Come with me. Yeah. Okay, fine. But if you don't want to be like me, that holds this grudge for this long. Believe me, I know that you don't want to. And it was kind of a touching moment, because like I mentioned, I've created like point of view characters, and to see them together just kind of all in one continuous strand, it's pretty cool. And the moment I saw that, I was like, all right, Clegane Bowl's about to happen, huh? I mean, was that not what happened? Clegane Bowl. It was. I'm saying Clegane Bowl if you can't understand me. By the way, you know.
No, I'm not following the reference. Game Bowl?
No, Clegane Bowl, like Sandor and Gregor Clegane.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Jeez Louise, man. That's all right. Now,
sorry,
it's all right. So now we move down to the stairway to nowhere, okay? And we start seeing the building crumble, and we see the sky open up, and then we see Gregor basically, cover Cersei so that none of the stones fall on her, which if he would have been alive down, later on in the episode, down in the bottom, he probably would have cleared away. But talk about the most fucking just like death that I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck him.
Mountain?
The mountain killing Qyburn, dude.
Yo.
I mean,
can you go back to first how all that shit fell, all those rocks fell? The entire building came down almost on top of the mountain, and it was like nothing.
I know.
I was like, wait. I was like,
yeah, me too. I was like, God damn, dude.
I was like, how strong is this motherfucker, man? I mean, we saw how strong it is after the fight with.
I mean, apparently he's fucking really. He's
for the Hound. I was like, what the fuck is gonna take you to kill this motherfucker? But yeah, I was like, and then when he killed him, I was like, he used to like toss him like a fucking ragdoll.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh.
And like, protect your queens, like, bitch.
Right. I mean, essentially, and it was like a Frankenstein reference metaphor. The creator gets killed by its creation. So I mean, that was cool. Clegane Bowl.
Right.
That fight was fucking brutal, dude.
Like, It was.
And we don't have to go back to it. Like, we'll talk about it, or we can. It doesn't matter. But I mean, it was the way they died, the way everything happened. I mean, it was epic. But then we see Jaime reunite with Cersei, and again he stabbed. I figured he was pretty much gonna die pretty soon. I just didn't know how he was gonna die. And
but before we go into that, how beautiful was that shot when the Hound just went through the wall?
Oh yeah, and he falls down. I mean, falls
down to the fire.
Yeah,
that was like, holy shit, man. He's like that. Like the whole shot of them, both of them falling into the fire, was just like the director. He just did a tempo movie in an hour and 50 minutes.
Hour 20 minutes, but yeah,
hour 20 minutes. But
that was. It was intense, man. I loved it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was definitely there, and then we basically move on to Arya's point of view, going through the city, becoming a hero, caring about other people, and realizing that they don't give a fuck either. Like, they're just idiotic and running and staying in buildings.
Yep.
And then essentially we get near the end, start seeing what happens with Cersei and Jaime. Like, they're underneath.
Now I'm going to ask you for your honest opinion.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? I know the foreshadow. I want to die in the arms of the woman I love. Whatever.
Right.
Motherfucker. Tell me if you're okay with how she died.
Yes, I'm going to tell you the reasons. Okay. One, her pregnancy was in fact real. That was always a thing. There was never she's not really pregnant. No, she's faking it. She's using it against anybody. No, she was really pregnant. Okay?
She was really pregnant. I know.
So if anybody was about to kill her, that would be a second time that a female pregnant with an unborn child gets murdered. Okay, because it's not like she's, she would be getting murdered. Okay,
are we gonna have a moral code now because she's pregnant?
No, I'm saying about the show itself. Okay, I'm talking about the way the show has handled a lot of murder. I mean, rape and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm just saying to kill a person. That I'm just talking about morality. I'm not talking about within the universe. I'm just saying like on screen. That's all I'm talking about.
Okay.
But the other reason why I was okay with it is because guess what, dude? And I'm using real world in this situation because I'm going, talk about poetic justice again. So can you tell me who killed Hitler?
Didn't he poison himself?
I don't know. That's the rumor. But what happened to him? Like, how did he die?
Found him poisoned.
I thought he had shot himself.
I thought he took a cyanide pill and off himself.
That's the rumor, right?
Those are the rumors.
That's the rumors, right? But it's never been found, right?
Well, there's also rumors that he's somewhere in Argentina, that he lived out his life in Argentina.
But okay, so Osama bin Laden, who killed him? We know the Navy.
Well, they throw his body in the sea. Nobody fucking know. I don't fucking believe that shit. I mean, I'm not a big on conspiracy theories.
Well, I'm not bringing up conspiracy theories.
No, I got that.
Those two examples.
Are you trying to cast doubt on Jaime Lannister and Cersei's death?
Not even close. What I'm saying is, there was nobody that was like a hero that got to fight Hitler and got to fight Osama bin Laden one-on-one, and they took him out in a big, epic, grand scale. Their deaths are okay. It happened, and it was whatever, dude. Like nobody got to kill them. They either got. I mean, somebody got to kill Osama bin Laden. But my point is that it was not an epic, grand scale. Like Hitler didn't get what he deserved. He just fucking died, and the war was over.
So there was no real justice. I see what you're saying.
There was no real justice. It was okay, cool. He died, man, and fuck Hitler. I'm not trying to compare them two. I'm just saying.
I see what you're saying.
He died, and okay, cool.
There was no satisfaction on bringing justice to the man who caused so much pain and
correct,
and
man. I mean, this is a man that killed so many fucking people, and
I see what you're saying.
And he dies. I think by himself, like he dies with himself or with his lover or whoever. It doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
But the fact that Cersei dies that way is, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like she was the biggest villain, and guess what? She gets crushed by by the throne room. I mean, that's what was above where she was at.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like that was.
I see the point you're trying to make, but the thing is, where's the payout though?
But that's just it though. What payout? When have we ever been promised that somebody was gonna?
No, we're not. But at the same time, we don't want to divert from what it is. It's an entertainment show, in just the same way that you are that we're gonna make the argument about this has been planted. The seed has been planted about this character. The same way I could make the argument. Wait, you have planted the seed about this character too, and we waiting.
But about what? About her dying by who?
No, about her being an evil bitch and scaring her dudes at the end of the show. So
how? Where has that been in any of the series? Where has that ever been? Hey, all she said was, "You play the Game of Thrones or you die." She didn't say how you die.
This is all news to the entire world. That whenever there's a major villain in a movie or in a TV show, nobody's expecting that person to get because we want to give the general public or the viewing public more artistic end of that person's arc by allowing them to kill themselves just like Hitler or somebody else did.
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that the way it happened, I went, I mean, dude, what else could it during that entire battle? It's Daenerys is fucking burning the entire city. Like who else is gonna go after Cersei? Like nobody's in there that wants to kill her.
I get
what I'm saying?
But
like,
the thing is,
she couldn't have escaped the Red Keep. That thing was fucking falling down.
Let me put it this way to see if you understand me. The same way that you see, Dany turned into the monster that she turned into, because we don't know what's happening until the last episode.
Right.
Dany turned into this person of who she is now, or what we saw in the last episode, because of the things that we've seen so far, and you kind of expected it because it was already planted, right?
Right.
Am I correct? So correct. If you that invested in that character to turn out that way, I'm just as invested on that character to pay for her all of the shit that she's done to this point, because I invested.
Well, right, but there's never been.
I'm not saying that's what I wanted. I'm not saying okay, why didn't you shoot the show the way I wanted? But if we're gonna play the same card, we're gonna play the investment card or the plan C card, then we're gonna have to apply it all across the board, not just to one character.
And we do. I completely agree. Tell me in any of the shows or any of the series or any of the seasons where we have seen that Cersei's gonna get hers, except for when Tyrion says you're gonna have ashes. It's gonna choke you whenever I'm gonna take something away from you, and when I do, you'll choke on ash.
Right.
Tell me, other than that one time, when have we ever heard anybody saying that they were going to fucking do all sorts of shit to Cersei?
Okay, so it needed to be foreshadow in order for her to get her dues. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if you're using what we're going to use for Dany, yes. I'm
No,
not saying
because
that. I didn't bring that up.
No, well, the argument that I'm trying to make is that what I'm saying is, okay, you can use that for Dany, okay, fine. But at the same time, when you're watching a series, it's the expectation of like, okay, if they plant this seed for this character, okay, I'm expecting this. So if this villain is such and such a way, I'm expecting this individual to die in a freaking blaze of whatever it is, for all the damage, all the hurting, all the evil deeds that this person has done. Where's the payout to that? Where's like, okay, she died on the basement, rocks falling on top of her.
She gets buried alive. I don't know. I would hate to get buried alive. I'm just telling you.
I would hate to.
Like, I would hate. No, fuck that.
Listen,
dude. I don't care what it is.
I'm afraid of that. Like I have asked to be burned, to be cremated. Nobody wants to cremate me. I don't know why. Fuck. But I don't want to be. I'm petrified of the whole idea. But the same thing is like, I'm thinking, okay, you know how much this person is. It must have felt like let's say that Hitler, they found Hitler's body poison. It must have felt the same way. It's like, this motherfucker got away. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but I get, but like you can sell me on that though, because this is an entertainment piece that I'm investing my time. Because I want to get a payout at the end, whether it's devastating or whether, but this is never disappointing, and that's what I feel.
I get it. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm not telling you that that you don't deserve that or you shouldn't want that. All I'm saying is I don't have an issue with it because the way I looked at it, I went, dude, what else could I've seen? Okay, she gets burned by Drogon. All right, cool, dude. Would that be fulfilling for you? Because she's not going to get arrested.
No,
that's pretty evident. So that's what I'm saying. The only way she could have died, other than that, would have been if Dany burns her alive.
There could have been other ways. It could be
what other? But what other ways, right? I'm asking.
She could have been found by remember that the thing which I thought it was I feel like a clown now. What if Jaime's redemption was a real Jaime's redemption, and he would have taken her out?
Okay, cool. Would that have made you feel better?
That would have been a moment where it actually pays out that she gets murdered by the person that she actually really show any love outside her children, and at the same time, it gives Jaime his redemption arc.
But
to me, that would, and I'm not saying I'm not a writer. I'm saying that's one option, and I'm not saying that's what I wanted to see. But that would have paid dividends because it would have.
I know, I get it.
But I'm not. It's just that the way that they took her out, to me, it felt unfulfilling. That's plain and simple.
I get it, man. And you know what? At the end of the day, like I mentioned, when the bells rang, everybody reacted and defaulted back to who they really were.
Yeah, that's why they all regress into their more basic self. Yeah,
she's running around and she's trying to stay alive, right? Mm-hmm. That's what she does. She's not a killer anymore. She's not trying to sit there and be a killer. By the way, side note, Arya does end up leaving the Hound to die, which ironically, you know what I mean? Because the Hound asked him. Anyways,
well, he asked him.
I know, but I'm just saying. And so all of that stuff. Like with Jaime, he's returning to the love of his life. Like he's been with her for 40 fucking years, dude. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like he's been in love with her, and he's only been with her except for whenever he was with Brienne. And I get it, dude. He knew that Cersei was gonna die. He knew that she was gonna die. He could not, just like she could not kill him. He could not allow him to be up there and not see her again. Because at the end of the day, they're both in love. They love each other. That's it.
They do.
They get what I'm saying? Like. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand why people are upset because they wanted him to kill her, but at the end of the day, Jaime is not that person. Jaime was
right.
I want my fucking family.
I wanted. It's not what I wanted. It's not. I would have been fine with him not giving a shit about anything and loving his sister, his woman, whatever it is. I didn't. It just felt unfulfilling. That's all it is. Like I know there must have been a different way to to write her death, that would have felt like, yeah, that's what she fucking deserved. Oh, I mean, damn, that was fucking a little bit too much. Oh, you know what I mean? But
I don't know, man. I feel like
I didn't like the way that humanized her at the last minute. I get it that you're about to die. That's when you become you're most vulnerable, the weakest, the most scared, whatever.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna tell you this, man. I'm referencing it. Think back to what the Joker said. You know, when people are, you know, in their final moments, they show
that's
you
what they show who really they are. Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And do you want to know how many of them are cowards? What happens?
I remember. Yes.
Okay. Guess what? She's a fucking coward. At the end of the day, she's a coward. She showed what she was. She was a coward. Mm-hmm. The only reason she was all alone by herself. She had nobody to protect her.
You and me watched that movie, and when I hear that reference, right away it clicks. It makes sense.
I know.
I'm thinking more of those who watch it every week and are not so invested in the little details like we are. I don't think they're gonna see it the same way that we do.
I know they're not. And again, this is the reason why I'm saying I love this fucking episode, dude.
That's what. Oh, me too. Me too.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's why they uproar, because they don't get those little things. But I get it. But at the same time, like, I understand why I would want it more, or I wanted something different, or I wanted something like. And to be honest with you, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the show, with the episodes that we've seen so far, but I wholeheartedly believe that we gotten condensed milk, sweet, delicious condensed milk.
There's literally no, I would never sit there and go, no, it's fine. Like, I'm not. Bullshit. Right. Like, dude, this entire what we've seen in this last episode, or not last episode, but just in these 5 episodes, that could have easily been 2 seasons.
2 more seasons. Yeah, I was like, this is stuff that we could have fleshed out for another 2 seasons. And I'm thinking, okay, why are they ending in the show right now? And I'm thinking,
but here's the thing. Here's also the thing, though, because they knew that all of this, like specifically with Dany, they had to technically speed up all the loss that she was going to incur so that it made sense for the show. You get what I'm saying? Right. Rather than have it compile and you know, exponentially get worse. That was their goal. And so I'm going, you know, I understand it. I get it. You know, seeing Arya do her thing and try to save everybody. And then, you know, we only saw Dany in this episode that moment where the bells start ringing. That was the only time we saw her, other than, I mean, once the war started. Yep. So we don't know what she's doing when she's on, you know, when Arya sees the metaphorical, you know, horse, whether that was a horse of death or a horse of the 4 horsemen, a pale white horse, like all of that, the horse imagery, because the little girl that she kept trying to save obviously had a horse as well.
Yeah. And I got that biblical reference the minute that I saw it. I was like, oh, the pale horse.
Exactly. And shout out to Zack Snyder for putting that in there. So
and on the destruction of
exactly
of Metropolis.
And so you see Jon retreat and he going out there, and we don't know what's going to happen in this next episode. But what we do know is that Dany went berserker mode. Okay, and I'm going to quote you something from Sun Tzu. Okay. You know who Sun Tzu is, right? Art of War.
Yeah.
Well, he said this famous line.
I'm familiar with the book. Go on.
Okay. Well, he said this famous line. He said, when you're done fucking your enemies, fuck them some more. Okay? That was what he said. Maybe not phrased that way, but
I think you paraphrased
that was Ari Gold, Sun Tzu. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. But my point is that what Dany did, do I agree with it? Not necessarily. What does it make sense to me? Yeah. Because she knows that Jon Snow's lineage is out. She knows that the lords of Westeros are sheep. That's it. She's a dragon. Okay?
Right.
And history is repeating itself. History is going to... A Targaryen was not in rule. And a Targaryen had 3 dragons. And they came to Westeros. They conquered it 300 years ago. This time, a Targaryen was not in rule. Targaryen had dragons. Dragon now. Comes to Westeros to fucking rule. And... this goes all the way back to last season, season 7, episode 2, when Yara is basically saying, we could take and storm King's Landing right now. They would fall within an hour. They're not prepared. None of that stuff is there. Let's go. Let's do this now. And what was she advised to do? Hey, push back. Hey, calm down, right?
Right.
Chill. But then Olenna tells her, hey, listen, I know that your hand is clever, okay? I know that. But guess what? I've outlasted all the clever men that I fucking know because I didn't listen to them. Now, that was back then. He listened to her, and guess what happens? If they would have fucking taken out King's Landing at that point in time,
they would have been done with it. Yeah.
They would have been done with it within an hour. They would have taken over Westeros. They would have had the Seven Kingdoms. And when Jon shows up to say, hey, we need to go fight the dead, she would have had all the fucking backing of the Seven Kingdoms without having to worry about Cersei fucking taking over.
Right.
But guess what? She listened to Tyrion. Then she finds out that Tyrion and fucking Varys are behind their back plotting against her. Fuck you, dude. I would be like, no, I'm going to send a fucking message right now. I understand that there's people here. They're innocent. I understand that. But guess what? I fucking gave them 2 weeks. Y'all stuck with Cersei. Y'all are fucking going down like she is. I don't give a fuck. I'm here. This is war. Cersei provoked me. She got what she wanted. That's it. She didn't have to. If y'all would have fucking listened whenever I showed up 2 weeks ago and said, hey, I have a fucking dragon. I'm going to bring hell. Oh, wait, she just killed my most fucking trusted advisor? And I'm 2 weeks later and you're still fucking there in King's Landing? Dude, I'd have fucking gotten out. That's just me. If I get threatened and I'm in Austin and somebody says, hey, we're going to be dropping some fucking nukes on Austin in 2 weeks. Bro,
I'll be out of there.
I mean, shit, dude. That gives me time to fucking get everything up into a U-Haul and fucking bounce. Sorry, dude. I'm out, man. I'm gonna go. All right, you told me what you're gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
And I find out that my mayor or my fucking whoever, fucking killed that person that says they're gonna nuke me in 2 fucking weeks. Dude, she could fucking attack any day right now. She's giving me 2 weeks. So I'm fucking getting the fuck out of there, dude. Shame on those people that stayed there in King's Landing. What the fuck were they thinking?
They weren't thinking.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like Cersei, and then Cersei was using Dany's mercy as a weakness. And Dany said, I don't give a fuck right now, dude. I'm going to send a message to all of Westeros that this is what happens when you try to question my authority.
But, okay. All right, so you say all of that. I get it. Now, you are making the statement like Cersei knew about her Jon Snow lineage, about her being betrayed, about her main man dying on the Battle of Winterfell. So you take it, the way that it sounds, it's like she's taking into account all those things. Plus, on top of that, I'm gonna bait you to go insane and burn this whole fucking place down.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not at all.
Because if you're telling me that she's betting everything on cutting Missandei's head off, on turn her fucking evil and just break and go berserk, then that's a very weak argument.
That is not what I'm saying.
Because
that's not even close to what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with Cersei. This is all on Dany.
About her giving them a heads up. I get that, but that's not justifying enough for me to say, hey, listen, I give you a heads up. Now I'm going to burn the whole place down. You stay here,
dude, why?
Hey, you're getting burned.
Why not?
She's never done that. This is...
she's never been in this situation,
me as a watcher, watcher, just like you, who understands all the little things that were laid out there for us to know that this was going to happen. I understand it. But going back to the condensed milk statement that I made before, if they would have fleshed out that part of her, probably I wouldn't feel so against it.
I know.
So hard against it.
Again, like I said, I understand. I'm taking the season and I'm taking the show for what it is, knowing
because
that
the thing is that they didn't give me enough. Or they didn't give enough to the character. I'm sorry, I didn't say. They didn't say give me. They didn't give enough the character for me to say, "Fuck yeah, she's gonna end up." You know what they gave us? They gave us a little prelogue before the show started. The Mad Queen. I was like, "Fuck, she's gonna go ape shit."
I know, and here's the thing. Again, I'm not saying that it was fleshed out properly. Like if you would have felt earned, okay, I get
exactly.
it. I I can't use that as a reason why I didn't enjoy it, because, and I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying I can't look at that and going, oh well, if they would have just had more time. I can't do that because there is no more time. This is the last
more time,
two episodes. So,
but you understand why it feels rushed though, because the thing is
right.
Because I'm like, I get it. I know it's gonna happen. It was late there, but it was not fleshed out enough for you to say, yeah, it was gonna happen. What do you expect? It was there for you to see. So when I saw all those little things that were in place, I'm thinking, no, they're not gonna do that because that would be too damn easy. And it's never been that plain and simple with Game of Thrones, and you know that.
Yeah, but we've never seen a dragon involved with any of this shit.
Oh,
period.
Well, this is the first time that dragon goes Hiroshima on a fucking city. Yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
And to bring another real world situation in. If you remember back in World War II, Japan, they rang the bell. They rang the bells.
Yeah.
And guess what?
They kept bombing them.
United States said no. Second fucking nuke is gonna get dropped.
Yeah, they still bombed them. Yeah.
And guess what? Did Japan try to fucking take us over again? No. Did they ever try to step up against us? And I'm not. No, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm just saying that Japan surrendered after the first bomb.
Right.
And Avery even said this because Avery was watching it, and Avery made the reference. She said, "Well, I mean, Japan surrendered, and we still dropped a bomb on them." And I said, "Exactly. I know. I'm not." I'm just saying that there's so many references, and I understand why it doesn't feel earned because it was rushed. I'm not doubting that. I will say that I enjoyed because it was rushed what they did.
That's the only gripe I have with it, because I was like, I get it, I know, but it was not earned. It's not. You didn't flesh it out enough for you to tell me, yeah, this is the new Mad Queen, because she's always been the breaker of chains. She's always been free of the slave. Anybody that she burned is because they had an agenda against her. It was not.
But here's the thing. I know that, but also you gotta understand this too. Anybody that she did burn, she was a villain to them. Like, they were just living in peace. They were living with their slaves. They weren't revolting against anybody. They weren't killing anybody. I mean, Astapor is a little different story, but I'm just talking about in general, right?
Well,
they were just living their life.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, if we're gonna continue to chime in on the history lessons, it's the same thing that happened with Iraq. You know, like, they live in bondage, but they live under this totalitarian rule for years, and they were already used to it. Here comes the U.S., free them, and completely blew up their system.
Oil, you know.
So
you talking about oil? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So
I'm talking about cooking.
So you know, it is. I understand from that perspective that is done in the past, where you go and free these people even though they didn't ask you to do it.
Yeah,
but she's trying to gain followers for whatever, you know. That was her arc. I mean,
not really. She wasn't trying to gain followers. She just
followers, Instagram followers. But she was trying to, gain popularity, be on the good side on the right side of history, for lack of a better word. And that's who she was building this entire time. Yes, there was a couple of things here and there when they killed her brother, when this lady said all this crazy shit to her, be a fucking dragon. I get all of that.
I'm going to say this. When she burns Mizzo, or whatever her name is, the witch in season 1.
Yeah.
She tries to explain why she's upset with her. And she explains to her that, hey, look, you didn't really save me. 3 of those men had already raped me before you saved me, girl.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in time, she could have said, she should have seen it from her point of view as well, but she didn't. She fucking still chained her up. And what does she say when she's like, "Oh, it's not your screams I want, only your life." Like, dude, that's in the first that's before she got dragons.
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she was not a liberator. Okay, she was if you're on my side, cool. She literally was a Sith. She dealt in an absolute. If you're not with me, you're against me.
But being a savage to one person for whatever reason, it's not the same as saying, I'm gonna drop this A-bomb on innocent people all across this freaking nation, or this entire city. I know. Trust me, like, I get it. I saw it. but it's just not. It was the foundation wasn't there for you to sustain this that who she became. And it's because of the time. And I know you get me, because I told you I'm not. It's not that I didn't like it. It's not that I hated. I hated it that we wouldn't have enough time to flesh out the story, because there was because there was so much to unpack that they could have put this in 2 additional seasons.
They could have, but then at the end of the day, people will still be upset because this shit was going to happen. There's no.
I'd rather be upset about I'd rather be upset about stuff that.
Listen, dude. I'm going to use Hans Zimmer. I'm going to bring Hans Zimmer up and say this, okay? With the Dark Knight trilogy, yes, that was 3 films. But just like what he said, that was 11 years of his life, dude. He was fucking burnt out, okay? It's the whole reason why he didn't do BVS's Batman, okay?
I gotta figure that's what's going on with a lot of these actors.
Dude, I'm not even these actors. Fucking David and DB Weiss, man. They're going... dude, I understand it, but we've been doing this for 10 fucking years. Yeah, man.
The same thing I was saying, because we were talking about, my wife and I was talking about it, and she was like, why didn't do, the show is so good, why didn't do like 2 more seasons? And I told her the exact same thing. Listen, they've been doing it for 8 years, 10 years.
No, 10 years.
We are watching, enjoying the show, but to them, it's a job.
Yeah,
so and most of them are ready to move on to their own careers, so...
Yeah, dude, like, come on, man. Like, give them a break at least to want to do other shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't look at them going, oh, I can't believe you guys fucking, did all this shit. I'm going, no, dude, they went, hey, look, we figured out a way to end it the way it's supposed to be supposed to end. Well, nobody's going to like it, regardless, because it's ending. But I understood it, and I went, all right, dude, I get it, man. And that's why I'm saying I can appreciate what happened with Dany, because at the end of the day, I don't think she's mad. I don't think she's crazy. I think she's fucking pissed off, and she's like, fuck all of y'all. That's it.
Well, we'll see. And this is the penultimate episode.
Yeah, well, no, that was a penultimate, and now season finale. Season and series finale.
Season and series gonna be lit. So
I mean, dude, it's gonna be fucking insane. How long is gonna be this episode? Same length,
So what are your predictions for the last episode?
So, I know this is gonna sound crazy, right? But I think Dany, because she destroyed the red key, or not the red key, but the throne room and all that. I think she's gonna allow. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but she's gonna allow kind of everybody to be their own ruler again. I think. It's gonna kind of be like a political thing where she is the ruler, but she's also allowing them to have individual, kind of like wardens, but they're a little higher. So
she's gonna allow she's gonna give the North to Sansa and let her rule the North.
Correct.
Just like she said that she wouldn't bend the knee to.
Yeah, because I think what's gonna happen is she's gonna understand that this is what power does to people, and this is what ruling is, and she doesn't want she wanted to break the will. That's all she's ever wanted to do. And so I think by her going, I'm going to instill the 7 kingdoms again, and she can't have kids, so it's not like she can continue a lineage.
I can see that
yet.
I can see that. And go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say, so she destroyed the throne room as a way of taking it out, and the city as saying, no, the city and what it represents is gone. Right. And that's the whole reason why. And
so there's nobody else fighting for this throne.
Correct. There's nobody going to be that's going to do what I just did, because I think she's going to have some remorse. I don't think she's going to sit there and be okay with it.
So you don't think she? I think so, because I got the same feeling as you. I think I don't know if you do, but I feel that she went crazy for one day, like she and I try to, because you gotta be careful with the way you say things. Every female goes crazy sometimes. I'm not saying that trying to say that. I'm saying maybe she had like a moment where she just lost it. And
it's probably like a moment, like every once.
Right, like everybody, not females. Everybody has that
moment. I'm just fucking kidding me. Believe me, I'm joking. I'm joking about a period. That's it. It was a joke. I'm not. I'm not saying that. So, but I was just throwing a joke out there. So,
yeah. You push it out like that on the world, man. You know they're gonna eat you alive on Twitter.
No, I know. I'm surprised nobody's actually even brought that up either. Like, man, because at the end of the day, with the Joker, right, with Killing Joke, what's the main theme? What happens whenever you have that one bad day?
Anybody can have a bad day, and things.
Dude, she was on the brink, and she let loose, and so I think she's gonna have some remorse.
Let's hope that's. I'm not gonna hope because I don't want to hope. I like to watch the show and take it in and then digest it. And one thing
go on.
One thing that I think is gonna it sounds crazy and far-fetched. Jon Snow is gonna confront Sansa because everything that led up to that. What if Jon Snow is looking at this like this could have been averted if Sansa wouldn't open her fucking mouth?
Yeah, which is how it should be. It should look that way because
because
she already told him.
Because we're going back to that episode where we all been as men. We've been to one episode where like, what the fuck did you tell me for? You know what I mean? So
we've all been there. Like, dude,
we all been there.
Did you just say?
Because he doesn't like Jon Snow. He show his expression like he doesn't like what's going on, but at the same time, what if that's what's going through his mind? Sansa, you fucked up. You created this all fucking mess by opening your mouth. Now you're gonna have to pay for this.
But here's the thing, right? Because here, like I said, like I've been watching this but I've been watching this series, and things that are said usually are the reason why I'm able to kind of read into things. And when she said, Varys' death was just as much as Sansa's, and that's what happens when people learn the truth. He should know that what has just started to transpire could have been averted if Sansa had done what she did.
The blame is already on her. So that's what. Because when I watch the show again, and then when I see all that shit happen, I'm like, all that shit would have been averted. She would have kept her mouth shut.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is that they could have just waited.
Things didn't pan out too well for Littlefinger, because I call her new Littlefinger for spreading shit
and what happened
chaos,
with Littlefinger?
Because that's what she did. She created chaos.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about chaos as a ladder, true, but you've never had to deal with that ladder rising
unless
up to
somebody laid it out for you. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, no, dude, that's not. You don't do that kind of shit when you have somebody like that, as far as Daenerys is concerned, and you find out that Jon is technically a Targaryen.
Yep.
Like, do you really think Jon's going to be like, fuck my Targaryen heritage? No, dude. That is his true identity. That is who he's always fucking been, dude.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, and for him to find out that he's a Targaryen.
Listen, dude, whatever happens, it's gonna be an emotionally drained as the last episode. I feel
it is. I think everybody's like, oh well, not Cersei, but I guess Arya's gonna kill Dany. I'm like, dude, that shit's not gonna happen. Believe me.
I don't think Arya's gonna happen. It's gonna kill her.
They paid that green eyes, blue eyes, all that shit for the Night King, and that was it. There's no. It's over. Okay?
Yeah.
Arya has reverted back. She's not going to sit there and try to kill Dany, and I mean, she's probably going to be upset with it, and maybe, who knows, maybe what happens is what's it called? Arya tries to kill Dany, and Jon, because he is such a loyal, not only does he stop her, he gets in her way, he takes the bullet for her, kind of, in so many ways, you know what I mean? And Arya ends up taking out Jon.
Is the epitome of a man. My word is my bond. So he already bended the knee. That's my queen, and that's who I'm gonna serve.
Exactly. And you can tell
for good or for worse. And I think whatever he says, he means it, and whatever he means, he says it. So I think he's not gonna turn on. He might not agree with a lot of stuff that she did, and probably he's gonna voice his concerns. But I don't think he's gonna go. And if he does, it'll be surprising. It's gonna be.
It will be, but
it'll make it interesting, I guess. So.
Well, I was gonna say it would be surprising because it would be so kind of out of character.
Out of character.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So if you look at these characters as they are,
and if he does,
you're going, oh, okay.
And if he does, wouldn't you agree that that's not who he is as the character, though? Because like we are coming to an agreement that like that's not who he is. He's loyal to the end, no matter because whatever he says, he means it. So for him to turn on his queen, it will go against everything that he's been for the last 8 seasons.
And he felt so inclined to share his Targaryen heritage that he disobeyed and broke his oath. I mean, not really broke it, but he didn't tell her, hey, I promise I won't tell anybody. She just begged him not to. And he was like, dude, I can't, I have to tell them. And what did he do? He told him.
Exactly, because that's who he is. He's not gonna,
who he's been all
he's not gonna lie for you. No, he's not gonna do something that's compromise who he really is as a person. And for him to betray her, it will go against who he really is. Who he is.
And specifically because she's a Targaryen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's not, I don't see that happening. And so you go,
his
okay,
auntie, by the way.
His what?
His auntie, by the way.
I guess.
Auntie with benefits.
Yeah. And so I'm going, it's I don't think people are throwing all these fucking crazy ideas out with Bran and all that. I'm like, Bran's arc was the Night King. It's done.
Yeah, that he's the real Night King, that he was the real threat. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, like it would be crazy if like Dany ends up becoming the Night Queen or something like, or Jon ends up becoming the Night King. That shit would be completely just fucking crazy. Like that's like out of this world. Like, okay, sure. I mean, I didn't see that shit coming, but with the entire, I mean, who knows? What if Dany decides, she's like, fuck this, I'm out, man. I'm gonna go, back to Essos because they love me.
Yeah, live it out in the garden like Thanos did.
Well, yeah, but what if she's like, what if she tells Jon, you're a Targaryen, I'm a Targaryen. What if the Targaryens rule the entire fucking planet of it's Plantos or whatever they call it? You know what I mean? Like,
let's plan a wedding.
Yeah, like cool, man. We'll fucking run a dynasty. Like, fuck Westeros. Let's get both of the continents. Like, we don't know, but people that are I think Sansa's gonna die.
I don't expect a happy ending. That sounds much of a happy ending. I don't expect one.
I know. I'm just technically that wouldn't really be a happy ending because they'd be separated anyways. But I think Sansa's gonna die or Arya's gonna die. One of them.
Yeah, I think Sansa's gonna die.
Okay, I mean because
I'll be fine with it too.
Something has to happen with that because she fucking manipulated all this shit and look at what it caused. You know what I mean? And I don't see Dany dying. I don't see Jon dying either. I think they're just gonna be.
I don't know, man. I think
I know it's. I know. I'm
know.
torn between it.
I'm not putting my weight. I'm not betting my nuts again. Let's put it this
way. maybe Jon's loyalty is what gets him killed to Dany. I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's what gets him killed.
Yeah, because remember, Starkmen technically don't fare south.
Don't fare well.
Don't do well in the south. So I don't know. Maybe that's what happens.
Well, then again, he's not a Starksman.
Exactly. That's my point. So, all of a sudden, he's a true Targaryen. I don't know, man. All I know is Dany bought some extra Unsullied in Dothraki. That's for goddamn sure. Because they just showed up out of nowhere. I was like, God damn, you got a full-on army now.
Yo, I saw all the Rocky. I thought they all died. Like, what these guys came from?
Me too, man. She was hiding them in the back. They were reserves.
Those are the reserves, I guess.
And I don't know how Davos is gonna plan out. I don't like when Jon left Winterfell, that was it. When you saw the picture, or not the picture, but the visual of Ghost,
of him saying bye to Sam and Tormund
and Tormund, like that represented everything that he was leaving Winterfell. He left Ghost because he's not a Stark, right? Not a direwolf anymore. He left the Wildlings because he's not coming back to the Wall. Or not coming back to the Wildlings, and he left Sam and Gilly because he's not going to the Wall anymore.
Right. So
he's down there. So either he's going to die down there or he's going to live. I mean, but it's not going to be what people are thinking, where it's like, oh, maybe they're going to fight and do all this shit.
No, I hope it's nothing that I'm thinking, and I'm trying not to think of anything.
Right, and I think if
and I like that because that's why it bothered me so much what happened on the last episode. So,
right,
because I wasn't expecting enough.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you think of like the bittersweet ending, the reason why it's going to be bittersweet is because we know that this shit has happened. We know it's going to lead up to this.
Yeah,
every time. Like there's not going to be a difference, and it's gonna. the whole reason why I'm wearing this shirt is because this is essentially us finding out Vader is gonna be Vader without knowing about Vader. You know what I mean? This is the prequels had they have been developed and stretched out, and we were so invested with Anakin being the chosen one. He was it, and Obi-Wan gets trains him, and all of a sudden he fucking turns. He's like, I'm killing the younglings. I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. All I care about is my love, right? And if you think about Yoda and what he says, anger leads to hate. Hate, leads to fear. And when you're at fear, that's your most basic level of humanity. Like, we are, as a species of humans, we are animalistic. Like, if we did not have laws, trust me, there is so many people that would be dying or getting killed or getting murdered because nobody would have any fucking punishment.
Because fear is what controls us. Not to not to commit crime, not to do certain things that's gonna lead you to the detriment of your life, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm telling you this: we're born with two fears. That's it: the fear of a loud sound and the fear of falling. Okay. Everything else is all premeditated and thought of. Okay. Yeah. So what I mean by that is, and if we break down to our most elemental, fundamental base of human nature, we're savages. Just like the comedian. Comedian saw it, he decided to make a joke and parody of it, okay? He knew how we were. At the end of the day, so does George R.R. Martin. So allowing us to see Daenerys turn like this and basically become an Anakin of the Game of Thrones, it genuinely makes sense. Like, it, at the end of the day, that's how it would be. I'm not saying it was earned. I'm just saying that because everybody's upset that, she turned into a technically quote-unquote villain. Right. And I'm like, dude, she was never the good person, okay? She was never, Miss Innocent. Like, she was fucking saying exactly what she was gonna do way before she was gonna do it. How it happened, I can understand people's upset.
No, she did, but again, it's like I said, it wasn't fleshed out enough. It wasn't earned. It was just, poof. I don't know. I was like, come on.
And I get it. Like I said, if everybody had known, just like when Vader first appeared on the screen, everybody, he had 12 minutes of screen time, and he's the greatest villain. Yeah. And yet we find out that he had an actual story to actually get there in a couple of films, and okay, cool, that's how he turns. Well, it didn't mean that much anymore because we knew that he was Vader. This is what I was hoping was going to happen in The Last Jedi. I was hoping Rey was going to sit there and turn for a little bit, not necessarily major, but I was hoping at the end she was going to accept and going with Kylo.
With Kylo.
And we didn't know as an audience whether she was a full-on villain now, technically, not necessarily, but whether she was doing that or whether she was going to the dark side to bring him back.
But create a doubt that what if, maybe she is, or maybe she isn't. But at least
at least we don't know because at the end of everything that was in The Last Jedi, she was kind of going to the dark side. We
deviated a little bit of the subject, but it's true because in the movie, he gave you that sense like, oh man, maybe she can be turned.
It may be. Like,
there were many times where I thought, and then were times where Kylo looked like he was gonna be turned. So
correct, and so you didn't know it was that balance.
And it's that exactly that constant struggle that we have, that we deal with, we want to do good, and sometimes we use bad people, and it's just
correct. And so if we were watching Rey and she all of a sudden turned, people would probably be like, "Oh, that wasn't earned." She didn't. I couldn't see her. She, just because she found out her family was a nobody, in that film,
right?
That wasn't enough for her to turn. But with Dany, dude, all of that shit that has happened kind of makes sense. Like, you go, yeah, I mean,
it does, but.
I know.
I'm beating up that horse here.
I know, and it's semantics, but at the end of the day, this was always going to happen because of her bloodline, because she was a Targaryen, because that's what she was known for. You know what I mean? She was in Westeros. She was always referred to as the Mad King's daughter.
She was referred to as the Mad King's daughter. But it's like the whole saying, are you gonna pay for the sins of your father?
Right, so, and she ended up paying for her sins with her father's name because nobody in Westeros respected her.
And that's why I feel like, okay, man, that is too fucking easy. That is too easy of a cop out to say, she's her father's daughter, and I know.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? If word got out, which it was already, that Jon was the rightful ruler, what was happening? People were already conspiring against her.
Yeah.
Like that, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean,
think about if the entire fucking
we're gonna go in
Westeros...
circles because we know what happened. We know,
I know.
what drove her mad.
I know, but I'm just...
Why
I'm
she blacked out.
Yeah, I'm using what is shown to us as an audience in the universe of why these certain events took place and how I can sit there and accept them and go, it shit makes sense, dude. It wasn't just random, and anybody that wants to go, yeah, it was just random. Like, dude, you weren't fucking
it wasn't random. I never thought it was random. I know. Felt that. I was like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. The way this is probably going to end is realistically going to be history repeating itself. I mean, maybe that's the reason why season 1 and season 8 are parallels to each other, because it's just the same shit. It's just different characters. You know what I mean? Varys gets killed because he betrayed the queen.
It's like they said, the game never changes, only players are
right. And back when Ned gets killed, he gets killed because he's saying that Joffrey isn't the true king. And what happens? He gets killed. So it's Varys. So it's all of these things that are important to have make sense if you actually paid attention. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Was this the best episode for me? I would say yeah. And I'm biased because I love Revenge of the Sith. I love seeing Anakin turn, and I'm sorry if that makes me a bad person. I apologize right now, but I'm okay with knowing that this is a fictional character. This is not. It's not like I'm looking at it going,
we know what we're watching. I think people know.
Like I'm not looking at it going, oh, that's my role model. You know what I mean?
No. I don't. So, it's funny that I saw those memes about all those people that named their daughter. So.
Hey, real quick, I actually met somebody. I sold a vehicle to somebody that they were wearing like some Game of Thrones shirts, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And they had a daughter, and she named her. She had actually literally named her Khaleesi.
Are you serious?
And I'm curious, yeah, because like we were talking about Game of Thrones, this is like a year and a half ago or something.
Should have waited until the show.
Yeah, but well, the child was like. Maybe I want to say like 8 or 7 or something. So I mean, it's like think back to then. That was a year and a half ago. So that was almost right around when the show started. You know what I mean?
Right.
So whatever. But it's like, okay, dude, I've met somebody named Anakin. It's not like I went, oh, you're named Anakin. Fucking Vader. You know what I mean?
I want to name a fucking kid Anakin.
I know. He was. Well, no, the kid, the guy was from Turkey or something like that. So,
okay.
But I'm just saying though, I've met somebody named Anakin.
Now that we're talking about, it's just something that popped into my head because I deal with different customers all the time. This one customer of mine, I hope he doesn't listen to the show, but his name is Dick Shit. I'm kidding you.
Oh, is he Indian?
Yes.
Yeah.
And every time that dude calls, I can help fucking laughing like for 5 seconds, and then I go ahead back. I was like, "Yo, dude, what's up?"
I mean, there's not really you could do when you start. I'm just gonna say this, dude, because you know Avery, Daenerys is her girl. Okay.
Yeah.
That is it, but. My daughter is also smart enough to paid attention to a lot of things. So when this happened, she was like, yeah, I'd have done the same thing. I was like...
She's savage.
Yeah, and because to her, she doesn't have the filters like we have. We don't, we have all this kind of internet and all this stuff. All she has is the show.
Us adults, we like to... digest information and say, okay, no, we wouldn't do this, but kids just like fly off the cuff and whatever, right? I would do that.
She's going, yeah, dude, fuck that. Like in her mind, she's going, well, she gave him 2 weeks, and that was her saying, that wasn't me. I was like, I mean, yeah, you got a point. I mean, they knew about all this shit, and the way that they surrendered wasn't exactly what should have happened, and like I mentioned, it's Game of Thrones' version of Vader, essentially. Okay, and I am biased because I enjoy watching. I love seeing Anakin because it's really at our most human nature, like seeing the way we are as a race, as a species.
That saga doesn't have a lot of fans, by the way.
What?
Anakin's.
He doesn't.
He doesn't have a lot of people.
Are you kidding me, dude? Vader is like the most talked about person except for Yoda, really. I mean, as far as like other characters that are not Skywalker.
You're talking about the prequels?
I'm just talking. Yeah, I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking about the.
Oh,
actor.
okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I'm not.
Right.
Trust me, some of that acting was atrocious, but hey,
right,
dude, whatever.
Yeah.
I like I'm doing right now with Game of Thrones and understanding that it was a very condensed series of endings.
Yes.
Like I look at the acting and I'm like, dude, I accept it because I enjoy what the story is giving me. If that makes sense, you get what I'm saying?
No, I know.
And so I'm going, dude. Okay, I get it, man, and I'm glad that Avery took it for what it was, and she wasn't like heartbroken or felt betrayed, because that's how I know she is a very intelligent viewer, because she's looking at it going, well, I mean,
no, she's very
look
receptive.
at all the shit everything that she has done up to this point. She's going, well, I mean, all you did was poke at her, and okay, dude, she's fucking pissed off now. You shouldn't have fucking poked the beast. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have woken the dragon. Sorry. You know what I mean? And
woke the sleeping giants.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the best episodes I've seen. Just everything that kind of came through, and again, next season or next episode, you know, I think it's gonna be again. It's gonna break a lot of people's hearts because they have all these wild theories about all this shit going on, and I'm like, this is a real world situation essentially, just with, you know, a little bit of magic in it. I mean, that's what this boils down to, and this is how people would react in real world situations.
True.
So that's about it, man.
That's about it. I can't wait for Sunday.
God damn, I can't wait.
5 more days, so we'll be talking about it next week again. Hope we don't disagree as much as. Well, I don't think we disagree much, because I don't feel like we're gonna be disagreeing. It's just different.
Oh yeah, I don't think we were disagreeing on
a lot
what
of
happened. It's just
your
thoughts on how it happened and why it happened. I mean, I get it, but I'm like, fuck it. Again, it's like the prequels. Like it's not like Christian's gonna win an Oscar for playing Anakin in Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. Like fuck that. Like no, it's like, just what? Yeah. I enjoyed seeing the turn, and again, it's Obi-Wan saying you were the chosen one, and you know you were supposed to you know. It said that you would restore or bring balance to the Force. It said that you would, you know, bring balance to the Force, not, you know, or
you
destroy
were the chosen
the Sith.
one.
Yeah, dude. It was said that you were going to destroy the Sith, not join them. Like Daenerys was meant to be the prince or princess that was promised. She was supposed to take and bring balance and get rid of all this death and destruction, not fucking do it herself.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen yet. We're assuming that.
Again, I think she's gonna feel bad. She's gonna have remorse, and that's gonna be the reason why she's gonna go, I don't want the throne. I don't think the throne is right. I think everybody should be free. Fuck it.
That's how she breaks the wheel.
Yeah.
All right. Hope everybody enjoy this episode.
Oh man, almost 2 hours, man.
Almost 2 hours. Yeah. Holy shit.
Almost 2 hours, and be you know, if you wanted to, if you're still listening, you know, thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with everybody, and comment below, and engage us on Twitter. You can find us at the handle down there.
Yeah, down there below. Which, if you're listening on anywhere else, you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Anyways, you know.
All right. So until next time, guys.
Next time, man. Whew.
Make sure you listen and share again. I don't know. Just joking. All right, so we'll catch up again on next week's episode, and give you our thoughts. I'm sure it's gonna go as long as this one, probably longer. So, all right, so until next time, guys.
You guys have a great evening, and what is dead may never die.
There you go.
Bye.
Peace.